Chris Melling and Dan Eaton Lees sweat it out and go blow for blow. Gareth Potts and Simon Webb have slid from the studio to the commentary box.
We have indeed. Straight away, Chris starting with the cut break that was so successful for him in his first match today against David McNamara. Just stopped in his tracks at the end there when the 8-ball and yellow came together. Tough first chance, but then he took out tough chances in the first match, Gareth.
Yeah, as I said, the studio segment there, that I thought Chris's performance in his first match was the performance of the tournament so far, certainly that I'd seen, just for the pure difficulty level of the finishes that he was taking out. The match before, Jack Whelan played an almost faultless match. I think he did 7 from the break, and the 7 frames he won, which is, well, you can't really do any more than that. But I think it was the sheer quality of the finishes that Chris took out, especially being 2-0 down, and the first 2 finishes that he did get to draw level at 2-all were absolutely top draw. And just as I was saying that, he makes probably what is his first mistake of the day, misses for him quite a routine plant on reds.
Yeah, no missed pots in his first match. It was very, very clinical. It was very impressive, it really was. It's hard to put into words quite how impressive the finishes he had to take out were. He's going to have to sit and watch. Oh, that's a strange one from Dan. It looked like there was nowhere else but the cue ball, but the centre pocket for the cue ball on that one. So a slightly strange opening couple of shots here from both players.
Yeah, this answers on a postcard with that one, to be honest, because at the angle where the red was sitting, at the angle where the cue ball was at, if he was to pot the red, I think it was impossible for the cue ball not to go in. And a little bit fortunate that the red didn't just graze the yellow on the way past, actually, and just bump the yellow free, because then it would have been a complete disaster. As is, Chris has still got work to do, and he may be going after his work first shot.
He did have a look at the yellow and 8-ball, so he knew it was very unlikely to have that go in, so it looked dangerous. It wasn't that dangerous.
Yeah, he'll cut this one into this left corner. The cue ball can't go in off in the middle because of the placement of this red. You can see there, it couldn't get... The red would get in the way if that was the line, so he knew that.
And now it's in the way to get from one to the other.
Yeah, now the other red has just hampered him. He's hampered him if he plays the one down the cushion, of course. And I think that's the reason why he's going to change and play the other one. And he's played this nice. He's now going to screw off the side cushion. He's had a bit of a wince, but I think he's okay. I think he can grip this enough to get the cue ball above the middle pocket. He's looking at coming inside, but I'm not sure there's any gaps there. I think he's got to try and grip the cue ball, hit it softly, get a lot of action, and hit below or above the middle as we look. Yeah, he tried to walk it through a gap that I don't think was there.
Yeah, the spin doesn't take until it hit the red there. Hit it so hard. Well, that's where we get excited. As Chris Melling fans, puts himself in trouble. He has a box of tricks. He is the magician. Oh, that was close. It's not the worst result, first glance. It's not too bad for Dan, actually.
Yeah, Dan can just play the inside red and hide the cue ball behind the other one. He does need to be careful that he doesn't leave Chris an edge of the yellow, because he could potentially back double it into the middle. That shot is there, so he does Want to make sure that he hides the cue ball, and not only has he hid the cue ball, he's blocked the 8 ball with the red, so it's a double whammy. Chris looking if he can come one cushion off this top cushion, and if there's enough room for the cue ball to squeeze past the red and get to the potting angle of the yellow. And there may well be, but because Dan played such a good shot with the red, there's a problem with the 8 ball also.
Solid hit. Yellow's gone and sat on that red, which is more work for Dan, but he's still in complete control of this frame. Patience required.
Yeah, and this is where it's an offensive safety, isn't it? Where you're just developing your balls, bringing them into position, whilst leaving your opponent no shot. Chris is looking here if he catches this yellow off the top cushion with a glancing blow. Can he snick the red? Can he hit the left side cushion? Can he double the yellow into the right centre?
Wasn't far away.
No, and that's what I was just going to say with Chris. Even with such imaginative shots like this, and he was playing that into that middle, he always gets quite close to him. Okay, he didn't make that one, but had the red not have been there, it wouldn't have been a million miles away.
And for that reason, Dan will be advised to take these ones on now. I know he's got to solve his problem with the one by the 8 ball, but that has a way to be done. No more safety required.
Yeah, and for anyone watching that may wonder, well, a red went in, should that be a foul? It's not a foul, international rules, it's just loss of turn. As long as you make contact with your own ball first. You make your opponent's ball, it's just loss of turn.
Played that one a little bit firmer than I thought he might, but it's come out okay. That red could have gone and sat on the yellow and gone awkward.
Important that he's not short here, and the reason why it's important he's not short is because he doesn't want to be running into the yellow. Long is okay, he can then come up and down the table and get on the 8 ball, but too short is no good. And he may be too short. Can he snick it in thin enough that the cue ball avoids the yellow? So he's just pointing to the line that he needs there, so he's got to actually overcut this red, which means the cue ball comes off the cushion at a narrow angle. It's close, and he could just...
So well there. Well, fascinating opening frame to this group final that's taken nearly a quarter of our match clock. We've used 8.5 minutes.
Sticking with the hand on the table break. You don't see many pool players break like that.
Oh, that break though, isn't it? I mean, it's very good.
Oh, what a fantastic break. Just check out the cue ball here. Boom, straight in a line, back up the table. And not too much topspin, not too much backspin. And what that allows is, when there's not too much backspin, is it means that the cue ball stays in contact with the front ball for longer, which means simply more power gets generated through the pack. Okay, planted the yellow into yellow in the middle. The yellow then bumped another yellow down the table, and this one that's gone over the pocket, at first glance you might think, yeah, that's nice, but it's just sat on the right knuckle, which means that the plant down the cushion isn't a given.
Could have done with it going further away or staying right over the pocket, or even going in wouldn't have been the worst.
Yeah, a little, okay, planted the yellow into yellow in the middle. The yellow then bumped another yellow down the table, and this one that's gone over the pocket, at first glance you might think, yeah, that's nice, but it's just sat on the right knuckle, which means that the plant down the cushion isn't a given.
Could have done with it going further away or staying right over Oh, decided to play yellow off yellow rather than playing the pot for cue ball reasons, positional reasons, but missed that one by a little way.
He did, but he was very clever where he left the cue ball. Irrelevant of missing the ball and off ball, the cue ball was never going to be anywhere but where it is now. And where it is now leaves Chris absolutely no shot other than a cross double. The one on this right side cushion, he can cross double it, and that's what he's trying. And that's what he's got.
Excellent shot. Ball at the problem. Ball at the bottom becomes the problem now then. That's where the attention will be here for Chris Melling. He was trying to get it out there.
He was. He went after it with that shot. He went after both bad balls in one shot. So the question is, the red that's closest to the 8 ball there, does that pass into this bottom left corner off the yellow? If it doesn't, he will need to leave it as his last ball to just drop in behind this bad one, because obviously the bad one passes across the back cushion. So it's just about navigating through these sort of 3 balls here, and that looks to the millimetre perfect. As I was saying before, Chris's cue ball at the minute to me looks to the millimetre perfect. As you see there, once again, millimetre perfect. And the reason that is perfect is because he needs a huge angle to come back up the table to probably take the other remaining last red into the right centre.
It goes a little bit too far up the table this time.
He needs to be careful of the cue ball here. He's just pointed, and the reason he pointed is because I think there is enough room for the cue ball to squeeze past this yellow over the pocket. That's why he's now changed his mind, elevating the cue, striking down.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And that is a fantastic shot, and also that is an unbelievable clearance once again.
That is just world class, it really is. And more good success with it. Oh, look at this layout.
Yeah, these are the breaks that you dream of. Let's look at these reds. And this is how quick this game can turn, because Dan Eaton Lees thought that he played effectively what was a shot to nothing. Chris clears from absolutely nowhere, and in less than 60 seconds from now, he's going to be 2-1 down.
Yeah, all the amazing finishes that Chris has had to take out, all the tough layouts. He must have been thinking to himself, at some point they're going to turn and I'm going to get some nice layouts. Well, he's got the nice layout now.
Even that shot, cue ball on a penny once again. Perfect natural angle. It might not look that much, but you put that cue ball on a penny every single time. You don't then have to worry about what the cue ball's doing. You can just concentrate on putting the ball, and the cue ball is then naturally going where you want it to be.
60 seconds later, it is 2-1 to Chris Melling. Lovely break clearance for him to go in front for the first time. Well, it's a brilliant break, but it's dry.
Well, this is an incredible break, and the reason why it's incredible is because it was absolutely identical to his first break in terms of power and in terms of cue ball placement. Cue ball straight up and down in a arrow straight line back up and down the table, literally to the millimetre as it was from the first break. The only difference was this time he didn't make a ball.
Not a good layout though. There's plenty of work here for Chris Melling.
Well, after this shot, he'll only have one problem. And if he wanted to, he could attack that problem now. He can pop this yellow into the top right corner. The cue ball naturally will top spin into his bad ball on the rail. Does he have the angle to play the similar sort of shot that I was saying, other than the difference is pot it in the middle and screw into it?
Reaction tells us it's not natural, but looks like he can get there.
This is one of those shots where the harder you hit it, the less chance the cue ball will catch the other yellow on the way through. You've got to just get it softly with backspin. It's a timing shot, this one.
That is brilliant. It really is. I mean, you should see how close that got to hitting the yellow on the way through.
Yeah, and there's not many that can time it like Chris Melling. Purposely played, of course, to hit the yellow on the way there and just bump it into the cushion, into the red.
Simple stuff left. All the work done in the first 3 shots for Chris Melling. And it's another finish from the break for the Magician. 3-1 up, reverse clearance this time.
Wow. Best part of 30 years. And he's just pinching that cue ball about and putting it in. And as players, you know when you're timing it right, and you know when you're just flicking it about and playing little pinch and flick shots and little squeeze shots into areas, and it's going exactly where you want it to. That's a great feeling, and that's how it is for Chris at the minute.
Great reaction to this break here from Chris. Look at that. He doesn't like the look of it at all.
That's one of them where he won't be too disappointed he didn't make a ball, although I don't think they're quite as bad as first seem, because Dan can pot this red to the right corner and can bump the other one to the left corner. Doesn't want it in though.
Yeah, a little tap of the knee there from Chris Melling as well. That's a lovely shot from Dan Eaton Lees. If you can't see the one over the bottom left-hand corner, he's not got a shot on, other than going up the table, which is tough. Oh, we can see it.
Great shot. That is a fantastic shot. Purposely played to cannon into that ball hard. Just watch this. Purposely plays into this yellow, knowing that it's going to hit the yellow on the 8 ball and just spin over to the left-hand side there. Now everything's out in the open. Everything has a pocket. It's just a matter of taking these balls in the right order and leaving the perfect ball to get on the 8 ball. And the way he's going about this finish is he's going to leave the one over the left centre down into this bottom left corner, simply because that offers the best position to the 8 ball. And where these 2 yellows are on this top cushion, it makes it a big pocket for the Reds. So this is very good vision. Because of how guarded the 8-ball is, if he'd have taken the red away, which most people would have actually over this left centre, he would have had a tricky positional shot to play. As it is now, it's just land straight on this last red, stun it in, and the 8-ball does pass into the bottom right corner.
Not absolutely straight on it. Come around to have a look, see if we can get on the 8-ball in the middle now. Could still go either way, he's got options. There goes the big pocket. 2 yellows there, just made that a bigger target. Dan used it on purpose. That's an excellent response to what he's just seen 3 straight from Chris Melling. The response from Dan Eaton Lees is exceptional, because remember the face that Chris pulled when he walked away from the table. That was an awkward layout.
A very, very, very good finish. And I've no idea how a ball didn't go into that top right pocket. But they're a little bit messy.
They're all blocking each other.
Yeah, it is a bit line all over that top right corner, and the cue ball is blocked. So you're going to see Chris just play an attacking, well, attacking-ish safety.
You were thinking leaving the red on so that then reds become the colour set they're both after.
Yes, exactly. Push the red on. Then the reds are the ones that everybody wants. But Chris is 3-1 ahead, 3-2 ahead, and I think maybe he feels like he isn't the one that needs to push proceedings.
First glance, that looks pretty good. No reds available. How tempted is Chris on yellows? By the looks of things, not at all. I don't think the yellow he's playing here goes. It's just brushing off it.
Now you do need to be careful on yellows, because you have a yellow that's to the left of the 8-ball and you have a yellow that's to the right of the 8-ball. There is a gap between those two reds. As I mentioned, Chris is pinching that cue ball around and putting it wherever he wants at the minute, and if he puts it in that gap, the yellows all of a sudden don't look too bad.
Yeah, they're not as far behind as they were originally. 3 at the top are starting to open themselves up.
But as I said, he is ahead, and he feels as though he doesn't need to be the one that's forcing proceedings.
He's almost fighting his natural instincts, though, to want to be aggressive, wants to be the entertainer and put on a show. And he also has that sort of mentality of the challenge of a tough finish. So I could get these. But he's doing the right thing, waiting for the right opportunity.
Chris would be clever enough in these situations. He's been in this enough times to know that if he keeps leaving the cue ball in an awkward place every time, Dan will eventually be the one that will have to force something. I'm not saying that this is going to wither down to 2 or 3 or 4 minutes or anything like that, but it could wipe a good 4 or 5 minutes off the clock at least.
Yeah, and when you factor in the 8.5 minute opening frame, the match clock is going to be very much involved in this match now. 15 minutes 53 left on the clock. Final 10 minutes will be at 15 seconds a shot as well. Race to 7 frames, so every chance we have a winner via the shot, by the match clock rather, or whisper it, potential first 6 red shootout of the competition. Long way to go.
Well, he's going.
He wanted reds right from the start. He's got them.
Yeah, and he has an angle maybe to play a top spin shot on this one down the right cushion into his awkward red and the 8 ball. Oh, that's an even better shot. What a shot that is. He's just softly slid into the gap and left himself a choice of, well, it'll be red into the right centre, and then the other one then goes into the left centre. So now he doesn't have to move anything.
Picking it apart with his exceptional cue ball that he has got right now.
Oh, he's going to need to have, because getting from the top end of the table to the bottom end of the table and then getting back to the 8 ball, these are not as easy as they look. So there, he's going to showing you he's going to top forward, and he's going to leave the cue ball on this left side cushion with an angle to screw the cue ball back in between those 2 yellows and get on his last red into this bottom left corner, and of course the 8 ball into the right centre. All about the angle he leaves on this red now, and once again on a penny. So that white line in the middle of the table there, the cue ball will just be to the left side of that, in between the 2 yellows. Use the 2 yellows as a goalpost. Straight through the middle of them like that. And this is going to be the 4th frame that Chris Melling's going to win in this match, and it's going to be the 4th very, very high tariff finish that he's going to get.
It really is incredible the level he is picking up right now. 8 balls moving. Not going to get close to a pocket, but others are. Last little kick on the yellow at the bottom of the table made a yellow and red both awkward.
Yeah, just watch this last little flick that Simon's mentioning here that completely spoils the party. Watch this. See this red coming down the table. Just watch where it knocks this yellow.
Yeah, and Chris is studying it as well. His reaction was just off of camera there, but 30 seconds a shot, I mean, you're doing it anyway, but 30 seconds a shot, and definitely when we're at 15, you are already sort of mapping and planning and thinking and what's the problem, where it is when the balls are moving around. You are sort of analysing the table.
Yeah, your brain goes into overdrive with it.
That one's gone wrong.
Wow. Depending on how Chris is feeling, he does still have a chance to get this finish. So this yellow that he's looking at now into the bottom left corner, he can top spin into his bad one. Then his problem at the top right area, well, the yellow does pot off the red. And he has top spinned into it, and it has, oh, that's so unlucky. The red come back off the knuckle and checked up and blocked it again.
He is playing with such confidence right now, and he's Chris Melling. He always seems like he's got confidence, but this is different. I mean, he was analysing all sorts of things there. It was almost that he made the decision. He was exactly what he was doing with his shot very quickly, and just spent the rest of the time on the shot clock working out what else to do in the back end of the finish.
playing the double? Is he playing double? Yellow onto yellow, off the red, to open up the pocket? He is. So he wants yellow onto yellow, but the second yellow he wants to hit the red to free the other yellow. Something like, oh.
Wow, what vision. What unbelievable vision from Chris Melling, and Jaw stops him. That was something else.
I feel like I'm playing well in the commentary box, just spotting these shots, actually.
Yeah. This is incredible. No,
that was so unlucky, by the way. When I saw the yellow tracking up the table, I thought it was in. And if you could have give Chris that one back and said that's where the yellow was going to contact the other yellow, he'd have took it, because I think he thought that was in.
Why not pick out a length of the table double plant off a red to open up a pocket? But it didn't go in, so big moments here for Dan Eaton Lees. Red hasn't quite come out for him, but it's come out enough for a double.
Yeah, and he's got an angle to knock his bad ball off the side cushion here as well. So that was a bit of a bonus, considering the red didn't come out, but it is in a perfect position to play it as a double. But he's having none of that. He's going after it.
It's a risk to move it.
Yeah, I wouldn't move it. I would play it as a double, just because simply your penultimate ball is in the perfect place. So all you have to do is just stun this one in or screw it back an inch or two and you're perfect on the double. Yeah, so he just made sure he cleared the yellow with the cue ball.
Oh, this is a big shot in the context of the match. And it's narrow. It's gone narrow. That was to get back within one, as we're now into the final 10 minutes. It'll now be 3, barring something strange from Chris Melling. For once, his cue ball lets him down just a fraction.
Yeah, he played on the one down the cushion there. He's still going to play on the one down the cushion.
Oh, how big is this frame right now?
Well, yeah, but he doesn't have to play the pot on the red. He could play the double and play the loss of turn shot.
Oh. You were thinking the other way, get rid of the yellow over the top left and leave the other one not on the table. He saw it the other way around. He's gone for the double into the open pocket, makes it off the yellow, and this is very unfortunate.
Oh, even Chris winced at that one.
A heartbreaker for Dan Eaton Lees once he saw the red go in is, where does the cue ball finish? Do I have a shot on the 8 ball? It's worst case scenario, and it's going to be 3 frames behind for Dan Eaton Lees. Chris Melling now 2 frames away, but the match clock is very much involved. 6 minutes 55 left on the clock. Needs a ball to go in. Desperate for a ball to drop. Not going to happen. He has hit the break so well in this match, and he's been dry 3 of 4, the last 3. Very hard.
Yeah, Chris will... Well, he tried to kick his ball out. I think I would have gone reds there. And top down first shot, cannon the black out with this red that's down here. And he's away. But Chris has got the idea of playing the cannon into the 8 ball or into the other yellow from this one that's down the table.
he thinking plant now, or is he still thinking about clipping it back? It's very thin.
Yeah, no, he's gonna play a cannon into the 8-ball. He's gonna pop the one over this corner. He's gonna come down into the middle of the table, and then he's gonna pot this one with right hand side on the cue ball. You just check out the spin on the cue ball, and he wants to make connection with the 8-ball as the target. Watch the right hand side and connects with the 8-ball and gets it on a skinny glancing blow, which means that it's come out into, well, he can play a plant, but he isn't going to be sure where the other yellow's going.
Well, it's going to go over the other corner pocket for him. That's an excellent shot.
Yeah, okay, it may be 1, 2, 3 times across to get on the 8-ball. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3.
Oh, Chris Melling, what a shot once again. Oh, my word. That cue ball has travelled an awful long way to finish absolutely on a penny. That was something else from Chris Melling once again. And he's changed back to the front ball break to try and finish things off.
Yeah, and the reds are really nice, but can he pot one? Well, the one he's closest to, he can cut back across the top cushion into the left corner. Goes yellows, bumps his bad one over the right centre. He still has another problem. And that's the one next to the 8-ball because it doesn't go anywhere. But it will do in another shot's time when he plays a little bump into it.
Well, is there hope? Didn't expect the miss from Chris Melling, but is there hope here for Dan Eaton Lees? 3 minutes, 14 seconds to try and do something about it. 4 frames behind. Has to start with an ultra-quick counter clearance here.
Well, without some crazy 8 balls off the break or some golden ducks, there's no way he can get back into this match. This is just purely making the score respectable.
Time running.
Cue ball in hand then. The comeback ends there. Forget about the match clock now. Chris Melling's just going to pot these remaining 4 balls and win it that way. Cue ball's in off. Just having some issues getting over the line here. He knows he's won. As you say, Gareth, not a lot can be done in 1 minute 55 here, but can't blame Dan for trying. And it is 6-3. Apart from he's gone back to hand on the table, on the top of the table. Possibly reaching for more power. That will be that.
Yeah, the international rules means that cue ball in off the break means anywhere behind the line. Off the table means you get to put it anywhere on the table, which of course makes a huge difference.
Normal circumstances in this situation, you just pop 3 or 4 balls in the open and let the clock run out. Chris was running around trying to make a very quick reverse clearance. entertainer till the end, Chris Melling. Still coming up with the big shots. Has been an incredible display over the course of 2 matches here from Chris Melling. It's as good as he's looked for a long time. Oh, that's fantastic. Chris Melling in full magician mode. Absolutely brilliant stuff from the 2-time world champion. A brilliant match. Dan Eaton Lees played his part certainly in the early pot of it, but Chris Melling took out some really high-class finishes along the way.